No. Chris Young, Kicks 105.5. Good morning to you, 747. Joining me is Mike Bear from Bear Insurance Agency. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. And that's kind of what I say every time I come in here is, I think I'm going to leave.
No. We got fun times.
Come on now.
Good policies. We talk insurance. And it's funny because this is the only time in radio history, 30 years I've been doing this personally.
Wow.
And I've never heard another program that has fun talking about insurance. And I know I get a lot of positive comments about it. I know you do also. So let's continue the fun, shall we?
You know, but I will say it's definitely, when this was offered to us to do, I'm like,
this is stupid.
No one going to want to listen to that.
Like the #1 program for interviews now.
No.
Is income loss in any coverage for car or homeowners insurance?
Wow.
I know. I get right to the point. I want to know.
So there are some companies that have like some kind of a compensation if you're out of work due to a court hearing. But that's a very specific endorsement available with very specific companies that we don't see a lot of people take.
Why would anybody take this if you know that you're a criminal and you're going to go to court a lot?
Well, it's got to be related to the accident too.
I got you.
So it's that one we don't. It's nice that the company offers it, but income protection, where that really is beneficial is for business owners' policies. When business owners suffer a loss, they are losing income.
Well, then that leads me to my next question here. If you're starting a small business, can I start with like a minimal amount of insurance and work my way up? Or is there some sort of state minimum law that I must have this in order to be a small business?
So that's the beauty of it, is really the state mandates only lie within the auto insurance industry. So there's compulsory laws for you to be legal to drive on the road. So when it comes to insuring your home or insuring your business, many times you're insuring property because a bank is telling you to, which I always say that's never a reason to get insurance. You get insurance for protection because that's what it's for.
Not because you're told to do so, but you should.
You should, because when you talk to somebody who has gone through the process, and you'll understand the benefits of it very quickly. But in that instance, you could come in and say, look, we're just going to go with low amounts of business personal property. We have forecasting of our gross receipts. Here's what they are. And we're going to make that policy work with you to start and make sure, a lot of commercial policies, not all, a lot though, are auditable policies, meaning it's based pretty heavily on what you're doing and how big you are. So as you grow, the policy will kind of go with you.
The other sort of underlying tone why I asked that question was because of COVID, when a lot of businesses had to shut down or did a lot of shifting. I was wondering, did they get some sort of compensation for their business insurance for income loss? And you're saying it's a whole messy thing.
So for that, virus is an exclusion.
Oh, interesting.
And that's probably an animal that will be in the courts for a while. But virus is an exclusion. So if your business was impacted by the pandemic, sadly, there's no trigger of coverage because it's specifically excluded. Now, that being said, there are areas where people probably will reap some benefits. I think a lot of workers' compensation annual audits are going to come out, and the payroll you had for 2019 is going to be a lot more than what you're reporting for payroll for 2020. And workers' comp is based on, for every $100 of payroll, you have a certain premium to pay for workers' compensation. So you could see a pretty drastic reduction in workers' compensation if you have had employees really not doing much in 2020.
So I broke up my Encyclopedia Britannica and looked up I for insurance.
Yeah.
And here it has this information that I didn't quite understand. It says that there are 5 parts to an insurance policy, possibly 6. Are there 5 or 6? They say endorsements would possibly be the 6th. Do you know about the 5 parts of insurance? You're like, it's far too early for this.
I am about to lose my license.
Okay.
No, there are different parts of
You can always say pass or
there's
call
the
a friend
agreement, there's the contract, there's a mandatory endorsements. Now, remember, because every state is different, every policy is going to have a mandatory components, endorsements, if you will, added to it to comply with the state in which it is being written. So if you have an exact same policy in Vermont and an exact same policy in New Hampshire, look at the last sections, and the mandatory state compliance endorsements will be there. And yes, other endorsements can follow.
How are things going at your new facility?
I'm very stressed out.
I saw some people working on the the foyer, the entrance there the other day.
Yeah. So
what are you doing? You doing a little bit of remodeling because you're tall? The doorway wasn't just tall enough for you?
So no, they're not doing the foyer, the front, what are you, foyer?
Foyer.
How do you say it?
F-O-Y.
Target or Target? Which one do you say?
Oh, Target when I'm shopping.
Definitely Target.
Yeah.
But no, they're not doing the foyer. But there was 2 exam rooms as you walked in to the left, and the 2 exam rooms.
Would you like insurance? Please step in here while I put on my rubber glove.
We are no longer neutering, so please stop asking.
You got married long ago, so I know where you're at.
I'm the boss of my house unless she's around.
I'm turning them into offices rather
Yes,
than
we're converting,
having
and there's a little more
table
work involved there, like load-bearing walls and floors that are uneven. It's a late 1800s structure. So, and that was one of the reasons we were so compelled to buy it, because we love the history of it. So there's some love and a care and attention that's being put in. We're making 2 areas, bigger areas, one to be Jen's office, the other to be my office. That's the big project this week. Then we have state inspectors come to inspect the wiring next week. And hopefully we get to move in. So,
hopefully.
But I'll tell you right now, I'm a good painter. Woo, yeah.
I actually have only been here for about 10 years.
Yeah, seems longer.
You have been, don't it though? You've been here for literally your entire life. I don't know what that was before the Dr. Hoppy Vet Clinic.
So I've talked to a couple people. We believe it was Microdata before they moved down towards where the state police department area is. That's now the state buildings. We believe Microdata was there for a short time. I'm not sure who would have been there before that. We also believe way back
it was
that
probably
there was
a home.
I think it was always a commercial property because there's no egress there. And then to the side of that, where our parking lot now lies, we believe may have been another building at one time.
Really? How interesting.
So I got to do a little digging on that.
I just thought I'd ask because, I like I said, I didn't know what it was before Dr. Hoppy, and I was just wondering the lineage of your new digs.
We plan on doing a little history tracking there if I can, and when I have free time again, which I have none right now, but when we get settled in, I would be very curious to see what the history of that building is.
Share with us as you learn.
I was going to ask a couple of the bats that were in the walls when we started tearing them out, but they weren't responding.
I actually did a little bit of remodeling on a home years ago and opened up a closet area. And there was literally 40 bats that were mummified in the wall.
Yeah, they look like, according to my contractor, they look like they were, because they were all in like almost the bat fetal position.
I saw the Lost Boys. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Is that Kiefer? Was Kiefer in that?
When you get more information about the heritage of your new facility and when you open up, we'll talk more about that. Good Policies every Wednesday with Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency. If you'd like to talk to him, you can buzz him up at
748-5224. You can find us here, now, and then on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Our website, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.